All right, everybody. So for today's practice, it's going to be giving a lot of love and support to the pelvic floor. So it's going to be a practice that invites a lot of freedom and movement into the pelvis, circling and creating space, but also some shapes where we bring a little bit of stability and a bit of grounding to that space as well. So if you're someone like me that when you feel overwhelmed or anxious, it goes to your tummy and you kind of get those butterflies and that tightness, I hope that this practice will help you to bring some space there. But as always, take care of yourself, move in a way that feels supportive for your breath, take rest as much as you need to. Sound good? So to begin, we're going to begin in something called constructive rest, which will be on our back. As you can see, I've put a blanket down, a little towel down, because we'll be doing some shapes where we're down on our knees. So if you'd like some cushion there, adding a bit of padding might be of support, okay? But otherwise, coming onto your back. So for constructive rest, the knees are bent and the feet go out a bit wider than your hips. And then your knees touch at the center. So feet are resting on the floor a bit wider than the hips, and then you invite the knees to come together towards the middle. And then taking a few moments to settle in, maybe let the head drop a little bit heavier. And then to begin, everybody, I'll invite you to take your hands maybe resting on your low belly underneath your navel there. So the elbows bend slightly, the shoulders and the outer arms fall down with gravity. So we're starting our practice here in this shape on our back, inviting a little bit more grounding. So taking all the time you need to make yourself comfortable. If at any point this feels uncomfortable, you can absolutely adjust or change. Maybe the eyes get a little bit heavier, beginning to bring your awareness away from the busyness of your day, the buzz outside, and inviting more journeying inward as each breath settles in. So remembering in our practice that less is more. Every shape, every movement, every breath, it's your shape, it's your breath, it's your movement. So if you've had the type of day where you need to stay on your back for the next 40 minutes and breathe, then do that, that's perfect. If you feel ready, I'll invite you to make your next breath a little bit deeper. And as you inhale, maybe feeling the breath move into the space of the belly, greeting the hands. And then as you exhale, a sense of softening through your fingertips, shoulders fall down with gravity. A couple more deep and full, spacious breaths on your own, waking up the breath. And then staying like this or over the next few moments, walking the feet into more hip distance apart, knees are still bent to the sky, and then now either bringing the hands by your sides or hands can stay resting on those frontal hip points or even the tops of the thighs. We're going to invite a little bit of pelvic movement here on our back. So it's going to be a little bit like a cat and cow, but on your back. So try it out with me, see how it feels. As you're ready, begin to lift the space of the rib cage, arching the back, finding a gentle back bend so that lower back is lifting off the floor. And then maybe with your exhale, opposite action, connect your lower back into the floor. Feel the navel draw into the spine, maybe a gentle lift of your tailbone. So with the feet grounding down, moving through these two shapes a few times. And it can be with your breath, or it can be totally free of the breath, gentle movements. So arching the low back, feeling the space of the rib cage lift. And then as you're ready, lower back connects to the floor, navel draws into the spine. And you can't really do this wrong. It's a practice of noticing and shifting and noticing and shifting again. Maybe a couple more of these at your own pace, taking your time, feeling your breath. And then when you are ready, letting that go. Let's take the legs nice and long, maybe reach the arms to the sky or even take them overhead. So finding a long spine, long whole body, big stretch in. And then as you exhale, keeping your left leg heavy, how would it feel to bend your right knee in towards your chest? You can keep your arms overhead. You can take your arms out to the side. And then from here, draw some big circles with that right knee. So take it out to the right and then forward. And then a little bit of internal rotation as it goes across the body and then into the chest and then out. So big circles. Feel the heaviness of that left leg. And my belly tones just a bit to stabilize through my spine. And then the next time that your right knee comes in towards your chest, let's pause here. Option to stay, really pulling that right knee in, engaging. Or maybe you reach your arms to frame that right leg. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, how would it feel to lift your chest, almost like you want to kiss your knee? Maybe you do. And the last little piece, invitation to hover that left leg. So now the belly's firing for 3, for 2, and then bring it all down. Extend your right leg long like nothing happened. Maybe a little bit of a rock in the pelvis, maybe a flutter of your lips. And then in your own time, you can take your arms to a different position. Left knee hugs in tight towards the chest. So feel that hugging in sensation. And then with your right leg heavy, how would it feel to draw some big circles with that left knee? You might notice this side is a bit different than the first side. With your breath moving at its own rhythm, noticing the thoughts that come up as you explore this shape. And then the next time that that left knee comes in tight towards the chest, staying here, hugging in, super strong choice. Another choice would be to frame that left leg with your arms. Feel the breath move in. And then with your exhale, gently lifting the head, lifting the chest, maybe lips towards that left knee. Maybe the right foot hovers for 3, for 2, and 1. This time, hug both knees into the chest and then take those legs straight up to the sky. Knees can be a little soft. Arms can join the party, reaching the arms up. And then circling through the wrists and the ankles here. Releasing, picturing or feeling the femur bones, the legs nice and heavy into the hip sockets. You might even circle the jaw. And then for a few moments, if you want to join me, maybe a gentle shake of your arms and your legs. So a little bit of a shake, not taking yourself too seriously. For 3, maybe a little bit more. For 2, and let it go. Hug the knees into the chest, maybe rock a little bit side to side. And then I'll invite you to make your way up from the floor, so you can turn to one side, or maybe you rock forward and back on your spine a couple times, and sitting up. Whew, good. And then meeting me on all fours in a tabletop position. So this is where the blanket or the cushion under the knees might feel really nice. As you arrive, finding a nice equal grounding in your hands, fingers spread nice and wide. Maybe your toes are tucked or untucked, that's up to you. Over the next few breaths, begin to draw some big circles with your upper body. So lean forward, to the side, back, almost like a child's pose, and then you change your mind and you take it forward again. So you get to choose how big these movements are. Being mindful of your wrists, really grounding down through your finger pads. And then how would it feel to change directions? And then notice your breath. You don't have to change your breath, but maybe you let out a bit of a sigh. And then over time, gently making your way into your tabletop position. And over the next few breaths, first downward facing dog. We won't be there for too long. See how it feels to lift the hips up, maybe adjust the feet or the hands. If for any reason down dog feels like a little bit too much pressure today, child's pose is a great variation, or even tabletop for a few more breaths. If you're with me in down dog, we're going to move through some different shapes with our breath. So let's try it together. On your next inhale, shift forward, top of a push-up, plank pose. And then with your exhale, knees soften down, sink back towards a child's pose. My toes are still tucked, so I get a little bit of a stretch for my feet. And then looking forward, inhale, tabletop. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, so let's try that a few more times. Inhale, plank. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. And exhale, down dog. All guided again, but go at your own pace, no rush. Inhale, plank. Exhale, child's pose, hips back, soften your eyes. Inhale, tabletop. And exhale, downward facing dog. One more time, inhale, plank. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, take it forward, plank, or table rather. Exhale, down dog. And then from here, knees come down, back to your tabletop position. Good. I'm gonna come up onto my fingertips now, creating a little bit more space. Right leg extends back behind me. Spine is nice and long, bending the right knee. Take the right knee out to the right and slowly invite your right foot to the top of your mat. You might support that right foot with your right hand to guide it up. Comfortable distance between your front foot and your back knee. And when you are ready, low lunge, rise up. Hands can be at your heart. Arms can reach up to the sky. Coming in and out of this low lunge, so let the hips fall heavy, and then invite the hips a little bit taller. And then notice what feels grounding, what feels balanced for you and your pelvis today. So hips are square to the front of your space, and there's a sense of hugging in, so the low belly is really supporting you here. Taking another breath, maybe two. And then option to stay here and explore this space, or a little bit of movement and balance for the lower body. As we inhale, think tall spine. And then as you exhale, lean your hips back, lengthen your front leg, right toes to the sky, maybe reach forward. So inhale, rebend the front knee, low lunge. And then exhale, lean the hips back, try to straighten that front leg and reach the arms forward. Couple more times with your breath. If you want to, you could open the arms out wide to the sides. You could bring the hands to the front leg, whatever supports your breath. So a little bit of active stretch for that right hamstring. How about one more? And then coming back to that low lunge, let's invite our hands together in front of our heart. We're gonna do a tricky transition to get to the top of the mat. Let's see how it goes. Rooting into that right foot, left toes tuck under, trust your legs, and maybe left knee lifts off the floor and you're in a high lunge. Yeah, good. Somehow we're gonna make our way to the top of the mat. You can step forward, or if you're coming with me, hands at the heart, Lean the upper body forward, shift more of the weight into the front foot, maybe left foot hovers for a moment, and then step it forward, top of your mat. Good. Arms can come by your sides, maybe draw some big circles with the hips, with the pelvis here. Feeling the weight move to different parts of your feet as you swivel through the hips, maybe taking it the other direction. And then finding center, 2 feet rooting down. When you're ready, inhale, reach up. Hands to your heart, exhale. Inhale, reach up. Hands to heart, exhale. Adding on, inhale, reach up. First, forward fold, exhale, bending into the knees, take the upper body heavy, no rush to get there. You can stay for a couple of breaths, feel this space in the back body. And then inhale, halfway lift, walking the hands up the legs, lengthening the spine long and parallel to the floor. Maybe turn your head a little bit side to side, free your neck. And then with your exhale, forward fold for our transition. Fingertips come towards the floor or a chair or blocks, and then the right foot steps back. So the left foot is forward, right foot is back. Back knee settles down, and then coming up to low lunge on the second side. Yeah. So left foot, really strong. Feel all of the corners of that foot steady into the floor. And then as you settle in, hands at the heart, arms to the sky, your choice. Maybe moving in and out of this lunge a couple times. Noticing how this side feels. And then when you feel like you're in a space where you're steady, your breath is here, option to settle in, maybe grow the arms a little bit taller. And then into this moving meditation, moving through a little support for that front hamstring. On your next exhale, lean the hips back, lengthen that front leg as best you can, left toes to the sky, maybe reach arms forward. Inhale, rebend the front knee, low lunge, arms can reach up. And then off you go at your own pace. You could go like 2 inches and that would be enough. You don't have to go very far. Wherever your body invites you to move, taking a breath with you, maybe closing your eyes if you want to play with balance. Couple more. I'm not really good at doing the exact same on each side. And then the next time that you rise up into that low lunge, I'll invite you to bring the palms together in front of your heart. So belly strong, front foot really soft, really grounding into the floor, tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee. Balance might be a little bit shaky, it's okay. Staying here, finding a breath, and then somehow making your way to the top of your space. So a big step forward, 10 steps forward, or maybe leaning the upper body towards that front thigh. Maybe that left foot hovers, and stepping forward, 2 feet on the ground, arms by your sides, and we circle again. And the other direction, arms could join in if they want to sway a little bit. And then finding center, finding a tall spine, maybe a softness through the eyes. So giving yourself time to integrate that work you just did. Notice what parts of your body feel more active, more warm. Maybe the busyness of your day softened just a little bit. But if it didn't, that's okay too. All right, let's take ourselves down to the floor. Inhale, reach up. And forward fold, exhale, take your time. Inhale to your halfway lift, long spine, strong belly. And then exhale, bending into the knees until the hands come down, stepping back either to down dog or to a plank pose. Yeah, so plank pose, shoulders can be over the wrists, knees can be softly down to support your breath. As you inhale, maybe press the mat away. And then as you exhale, knees come down as slowly as you can, lower to your belly. Tops of the feet press into the floor. Pelvis stays heavy. You can even wiggle your tail a little bit side to side. And on your next inhale, how would it feel to lift your heart, finding a cobra pose, and then come back down as you exhale. And twice more with your breath, inhaling to lift. Leading with the heart as you exhale, coming down. One more time. And then from here, moving through tabletop. Knees can widen, big toes can come towards each other. And let's find Balasana, child's pose, for a few breaths, if that feels okay. Always an invitation to stack your hands, maybe rest your forehead there, or even stack your fists if your head feels a little bit like it needs some support. And I'll invite you to not be totally still here. I'll invite you to rock a little bit side to side in your hips. Maybe feeling the sides of the waist or the belly connect more with the thighs. As you find a deeper breath, as you let go of all that you've already done, there's nothing to fix or judge anymore. I'll invite you to be right here with your next breath, nowhere else to be. When you're ready, taking yourself towards that tabletop again, and then leaning off to one side, legs coming around in front of you. Let's invite the soles of the feet to come together. In any of these seated postures, if you'd like to elevate your seat a little bit more, that might feel nice for your low back. So you can see here, my hips are, even after years of yoga, my hips are naturally still a little bit tight. My knees still quite high, and that's okay. So instead of forcing anything down, I'm going to allow what's here and see what I can feel within this container of what my body is giving me today. So as I inhale, spine nice and tall. As I exhale, maybe leaning the heart forward, elbows greet the inner thighs without forcing them away too hard. And then inhale, I come back up again. And exhale, I lean. And one more time, inhale, I come up. And exhale, I lean. And then I stay if this feels okay. Hands can be on the ankles, the shins, the feet, the floor. And I naturally want to rock a little bit side to side. I don't know. It's a very comforting movement for me. If you'd like to join me wherever you are in your breath, exhale all the air out. Maybe the deepest breath in of your day, if that feels okay. Maybe offer it out through your mouth. In your own time, hands walk back, or you sit up a little bit taller, leaning back slightly, hands to the outer knees to draw them together. And then scooting yourself forward so you have enough space behind you, making your way onto your back again. And as you arrive on your back, making sure that you feel a lot of space in the sides of the neck. Inviting the knees to bend in towards the body. Knees can be as wide as you want to here. You can give yourself a hug, wrapping your arms around your shins, maybe arms behind the knees or hands to the knees, and rocking a little bit side to side or drawing some big circles with the knees, massaging the low back. And then finding a gentle twist. Knees stay bent, feet can come back to the floor. The feet can be a bit wider than the hips, like the start of our practice. And then as much as you'd like to, open the arms out away from the center, maybe palms to the sky. Keeping the upper body really heavy, invite the knees to fall over to one side. Doesn't matter which side. So in this twist, know that you can bend your knees more, you can bend your knees less, you can take a different variation of a twist. That's in your practice. But less is more. Gravity does most of the work here. When you're ready, changing sides, no rush at all. Inviting your tongue to soften away from the roof of your mouth. That space between your eyebrows that can be very serious. Maybe invite it to be a bit more spacious and soft. And then when you are ready, coming back to center, walking the feet to more hip distance apart. Arms can be by your sides with the palms facing down, or maybe the hands rest back on the belly. Feel the feet pressing into the floor. And then maybe a few more of those pelvic tilts to close the circle, noticing how it feels to find a lift in the low back, a general spread of the rib cage, and then feel the connection of the low back, tucking the tailbone, navel to spine. Okay, everybody, if there's anything else that you need to close your practice before you find your Shavasana, your pose of rest, please do that. Maybe a big stretch, maybe hugging the knees in again, totally up to you. Otherwise, in your own time, knees can stay bent. You could take that constructive rest position like the start of class. Or maybe you want to take the legs long, the arms nice and wide, palms to the sky. You also have the choice to take any other shape that will help support you in your place of rest. So maybe a pillow under the head or a blanket over the belly. You have the option to close your eyes, but you don't have to. I'm going to come up to a seat. And then wherever you are in your breath, maybe one more time. Exhale all of the air out. When your inhale is ready, allow it to move in as deep as it wants to move in. And then an effortless exhale, letting it all go. And for the next, 3 or 4 minutes, taking a well-deserved rest. Being gentle with yourself if the mind is still a bit chatty. Showing up to sensation without gripping. Inviting a sense of freedom in your breath as it softens and moves at its own rhythm. Body is supported by the earth. Taking this time to notice and to feel. So before I guide you out, I'd love to share this affirmation from an amazing organization called Integrate Network. And this affirmation says, may all humans be healthy. May we see ourselves as part of the human family. May we offer compassion, comfort, and service to those communities impacted most by loss of life. And may we create systems and structures that support health, well-being, and overall vitality for all beings. May all humans be healthy. May we see ourselves as part of the human family. May we offer compassion, comfort, and service to those communities impacted most by loss of life. May we create systems and structures that support health, well-being, and overall vitality for all beings. If your body is calling for more time in your place of rest, then please stay as long as you need to. If you feel ready to journey out with me, I'll invite you to take your hands somewhere onto your body, maybe onto your belly or your heart. And then maybe with your next inhale, you say to yourself, I am. And with your exhale, here. Inhale, I am. And exhale, right here. And maybe beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe rock your head a little bit, side to side, circle your jaw. It might feel nice to take a big stretch again, reach your arms up to the sky if you're in a shape that supports that movement. Lengthening and spreading the toes maybe. Then maybe hugging the knees in towards the chest or wrapping your arms around yourself, giving yourself a little hug. And then in your own time, I'll invite you to journey over to one side, feeling yourself supported on your side. And then when you're ready, guiding yourself up to a comfortable seat of your choice. There's no rush. Take all the time you need. When you arrive, I'll meet you in a seat with a tall spine, with my left hand over my heart and the right hand to the back of my left hand. My chin, I'm going to invite it to soften down towards my chest, letting my gaze drop down. Take a moment to bow to all of you for your spacious breath, for your power, for your vulnerability, and for being here with me in this time. So palms will come together at my heart to thank you so much for showing up. So thank you.